Moving on to the hot topic subject today. What's the hot topic today? Of course, we're all talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. Will they trade? Will they not trade? Who's going to show up in Boston to play if they do trade tonight? Because the Lakers are scheduled to have the game with the Boston Celtics. But let's take a look and overall, it's a little bit of analyzation here of what's about to take place. If you're looking at the Lakers, who already jettisoned Julius Randle, obviously going to the Pelicans, they couldn't afford him because they wanted to get LeBron. They wanted to open up a second spot that was going to be a max contract. Paul George said no to that. Kawhi Leonard wasn't able to make the move to Los Angeles. So now they stay with LeBron and the young core to see what they have. LeBron gets injured. But we all know from every step of the way for LeBron James, whether it be going to Miami or back to Cleveland, he's going to shape this organization in the way he sees fit. And in the way he sees fit right now, take a look at what we're offering there. Ingram, Kuzma, Ball, Hart, Zubac, and 2 first-round draft picks. So you're telling me LeBron James at an elevated age is going to make that move for Anthony Davis. Davis is an unbelievable player. We all know that here. But you're going to gut the entire team to put 2 there, and then you're going to anticipate in the summer getting another free agent, which, as we just talked about, didn't happen last year. I thought Paul George was signed, sealed, and delivered to L.A. We thought Kawhi Leonard was definitely going to L.A. But now it looks like with some moves that the Sixers made with the Los Angeles Clippers, which may lead towards Kawhi going to the Clippers as opposed to the Lakers. And if we take a look at what the Lakers looking at, who else are going to get? What, Kyrie Irving? Kyrie's going to stay with the Celtics, he says. Nope. Kyrie's going to go now. Feels like he might get a little bit, back in bed with LeBron out in L.A. Maybe. Or maybe he even ends up in New York. So if you're a Lakers fan right now, are you willing to trade just about your entire team or anybody worth their salt on that team to get one player involved? And what happens, folks, if you don't improve in the offseason? Because what are you going to do down the stretch? Those 2 players, are they good enough to make a playoff run with a gutted roster? And a LeBron James is going to be forced to play many more minutes than he thought he would with that young and talented roster for the Los Angeles Lakers. And also, if we take a look at some odds here, what are we looking at if it's going to be beneficial to make that move in the betting markets, as we like to talk about here on that betting show? Plus 2,200 right now showing up on FanDuel and DraftKings here in the state of New Jersey. Offshore, if we take a look, BetOnline has actually removed their future odds on the NBA. Yesterday morning, if you were fast enough on the trigger, you could have got plus 2,500 on the Sixers to win the NBA title, which quickly dropped and eventually was removed there. So when you check out SBRodds.com, it's the same exact way. When those betting markets are moving for sides and totals, you want to get in there first. But Anthony Davis and the Lakers, to me, there's a lot of fun stuff you can talk about this as well. How about if you traded LeBron James straight up for Anthony Davis? How about if you don't gut your franchise? Now, we all know you want the marquee player. He's in L.A. They want to sell tickets. They want to be the NBA's, star child there, even though Golden State right up the road is in much better position to win yet another title, and that's who you should be promoting. But what happens if LeBron James got traded to New Orleans and AD goes to the Lakers and you keep that young foundation, and in the offseason, maybe you can get a Kawhi Leonard to go with you. Maybe you can get steal Kyrie Irving out of Boston. Maybe that takes place, but it's just some interesting fodder to talk about on today's Hot Topics. And just a little bit later in the show, we're going to go over some thoughts and processes, what's going to go on, and who might actually play for the Lakers if they do make this trade. Warriors last night, if you guys watched, late night, 141-102 over the San Antonio Spurs. Coach Pop not used to getting his butt kicked that bad, but that just goes to show you what Golden State is doing to teams now. You get DeMarcus Cousins back in the fold. You get a healthy roster out there. They start to dismantle other teams. Maybe they get a little bit of bored in, October, November, December, and January, but now February kicks in. Looks like they're engaged in trying to make that playoff run. But more importantly, if you watch the game itself, more stuff happened off the court than on it. Kevin Durant had a great night last night. Typical, 23-8-9, easy win. But after the game is when the fireworks started out there, folks. And what am I talking about? Press conferences. Kevin Durant. Hey, Kevin. Looks like we got you signed, sealed, and delivered to the Knicks after they traded Porzingis. Well, he had a lot to say to reporters after the game, including, I have nothing to do with the Knicks, Durant said. I don't know who traded Porzingis. They got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to play basketball. Y'all come at me here every day, ask me about free agency, ask about my teammates, my coaches, and you rile up the fans. He does have a pretty good point on that. But here's the problem when you're Kevin Durant and when you're a national star, you're making all the money on the most popular team in the NBA right now. You can put all this to bed, Kevin, with just a few simple comments. You can come out and say, hey, you know what? I don't know where these rumors started from. I want to be a Golden State Warrior for the rest of my career and see how many titles that I can rack up here with this great crew, this great fan base. We're going into a new arena. It's beautiful. I make a ton of money. I love living in the Bay Area. Squash these rumors. I'm not going to the Knicks. I'm not going to the Lakers. I'm not joining forces with LeBron James. But when you sign deals that let you opt out after 1 or 2 years, like he continually signs, that's going to be a problem in the NBA. That's why the people on the opposite side that are asking you the questions of about where you're going, you can't get mad because you signed the 1-year deal. You're leaving doors open. It's very easy, the same way we see it with coaches all the time. I'm not leaving to take that position. I love it so much here. And then they walk out the door. But at least you quell those rumors there for the time being. When Porzingis gets traded to the New York Knicks and you disappear, don't do any, press conferences or answer any questions from the press, the minute you step up to the podium, Kevin, they're going to ask you those same questions. Hey, Porzingis is gone. We're hearing rumors behind the scenes. Looks like you're, maybe Kyrie and you are going to team up in New York. Now they have a couple max spots open. See if you can win a title for the Knicks who haven't won one in seems like 50 years now. You can put those rumors to bed, KD. It's not the press getting on your nerves. Answer the question. Kevin, are you going to New York? Absolutely not. I love it here with my Golden State Warriors. Very simple to do. Summer free agency should be really interesting. But again, it comes to that topic. What's more interesting right now? The Golden State Warriors, who were just signed, sealed, and delivered to win an NBA title? Or is it the off-the-court stuff of which new super team is going to be formed? And a lot of fun to talk about. Similar to fantasy football, fantasy basketball, you can make those trades in your mind. Everything else on the court seems like it's going to be Golden State. And here we go. The topic du jour of the day, people out here. We can't get enough of this. We're gamblers here, right? There's no integrity fee yet. Each couple weeks or every month, it seems like a new state is turning on to gambling here. So you're going to get much more of the focus out there. New content coming out, whether it be Fox, ESPN, sportsbookreview.com, always looking to hit up the new content here. But here's a problem we're running into. Games and lines that are coming down to the end of games, and depending on what ticket you have, what number you got, I like to say at SBRodds.com, who's winning and losing these games, and why does it matter? And you saw a case in point last night again. If we rewind back about a week ago, Iowa State and Oklahoma, you had a jump shot at the end of the game, which is a 3-point shot, went down, but looks like it was after the horn sounded, the zeros were on the clock, and the red banner went up around the backboard. But it didn't matter to the game, so there is no review in that. So if you consider that a bad beat, many of us do, but they're not going to review that at the end of the game. And you see the question coming up in that, well, wait a second. At the end of the first half, if that same jumper took place, they would have reviewed it. Absolutely, they would have reviewed it. Same thing with the Villanova game last night. Villanova goes to overtime. The opening line in that Villanova wager was -9. Now, most people, if you're betting in that game, probably got, if you took Villanova or if you even took the other side with Creighton, 9.5, 10, 10.5, and 11. Probably didn't matter to you after that. But this was a 9-point game, and an even more egregious basket at the end of the basketball game in overtime was allowed in that game. Villanova, as we see right there, with a 9-point lead with seconds left in overtime, Caleb Joseph hits a runner as time clearly expired, and they counted it. And again, Twitter erupted last night. And what were they saying about it, folks? They couldn't believe it. Hold on to your tickets, folks. Maybe we can make an appeal to the Big East like we tried to do with the Big 12. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to take place because unless it affects the game, the overall game, if it's a tie game and the buzzer goes off or a 1-point game and a 2-point game, they will review that because it matters in the finality of the game and who won and lost. Folks, the Big East, the NCAA doesn't care about your wager. They care about the actual game on the field or on the court, that as long as it's settled in a timely manner and the game concludes and there's no eruption of, oh my goodness, that was a horrible call, we lost because of it. Let me tell you right now, Villanova didn't win or lose that game because the guy strolled down the court and made a 3 to 4 foot jump shot. Oklahoma, Iowa State, nobody cared in that game on either side that final 3 was counted, because there was a win or a loss and it wasn't controversial. The only thing controversial out there was the way the game ended. And the NCAA is not in the gambling business even though gambling is legal in a lot of parts of the country right here. So those are just my thoughts today on some hot topics out there. Sure, we'll be able to hit on those as the day goes on, but some interesting takes there as well. We're gamblers. I know we get worked up over that stuff, but you can't. You got to move on. If you got so-called bad beat from those, maybe you'll get that break coming up. Maybe there were people that had the Oklahoma-Iowa State side and completely flipped it over there and had the opposite sides in the Villanova game last night versus Creighton.